As it was discussed before, that the entire process of the oxidative phosphorylation, which is actually the third step of the respirations, like the respiration process of respiration, and is where we actually find that the maximum amount of ATP will be generated. Now, during that particular process, what we are going to find or what we are going to see is that the membrane, the inner membrane of the mitochondria, is where there are a large number of protein complexes that are there, which are actually responsible for this entire process of production of the ATP. Though yes, for the production of the ATP, the one that is mainly the one like which is mainly responsible for it is actually a protein called a protein complex called the ATP synthase, and that is the last or the like ultimate like complex of the entire system, which is responsible, which ultimately produces the ATP. But the main principle, the main material that is responsible, or the main complexes, protein complexes that are responsible for carrying out that particular step, are actually a complex which we call the electron, are part of the system that we call the electron transport chain. So in case of the electron transport chain, we are going to find that there are these four complexes, complexes 1, 2, 3 and 4, and those are the one responsible for the transfer of electrons. So as the name suggests, it is actually the one responsible for transfer of electron from one such like from one particular complex to the next complex. Sometimes there are in like special carrier molecules that are present in between, like for instance in this case you can see here we have a ubiquinone and then we have a cytochrome C. These two molecules are also responsible, like are actually one of the member, but they are responsible for only transfer of electron from one complex to the next. So once this entire process actually is being carried out, what we are going to find is there is going to be a large pool of hydrogen ion that will be taken from the this matrix of the mitochondria back into the intermembrane space, and once it actually goes there, from there it will be pushed back out like in the opposite direction in this particular case. So what we are going to find here is like in this particular process we are going to find here is that the outer the inner membrane space that is right here, so from there the molecules are going to get transferred across. Okay, so the main the main the entire process, this entire process is mainly concerned or mainly like in response to this transfer or balance of the proton or the balance of the hydrogen ion, because there is one thing we should know, that this this entire membrane, the inner membrane is actually what is considered to be a proton barrier, means it doesn't allow the movement of proton across it. So what will happen is the moment these protons are actually getting accumulated in this particular space, so it will be pushed from one side to the other. Okay, and it is usually that will be seen that the that the that the inner membrane space, the space between the inner membrane and the outer membrane, that particular space, it has a large pool of proton present in it, whereas the matrix of it is it doesn't have that many. So what will happen is that during many of the steps the proton will be brought inside the matrix, and from there like that it high amount of proton inside the matrix will actually turn that entire section more acidic, and thus what we are going to find is that ATP synthase is going to be responsible for pushing this protons back out into the intermembrane space. That way the entire balance of that particular matrix is actually maintained. So this protein complex, all this cell transport protein complexes, they are somewhat responsible for maintaining the balance. It is not that the ATP synthase alone is responsible, but rather the entire all these complexes are responsible for maintaining the balance. During that time, the energy that is required to carry out this process is actually what going to be provided, or is actually going to come from the transfer of electron. The electron that will actually be transferred through this entire each and every of the step is what is going to help in the entire process. So as you can see, there are four complexes there. So the first complex is actually the NADH dehydrogenase complex, this one. So this complex is responsible for conversion of NADH into sorry NADH into NAD. That means it is responsible for oxidation of the NADH. Alright, so once that happens, it releases two electron, and along with it the proton that are there, proton is also going to be released, like from outside to I'm sorry, the inside to outside, it is going to be pushed out. Alright, so once that actually happens, this electron that has been produced right there, this electron will now be transported from one to the next, means the entire molecule. It is not that it is made up of the NADH dehydrogenase itself. It also carry other molecule like the FMN along with it. FMN is actually a it can be considered as a co-receptor, or it can be considered as a coenzyme molecule that is present along with it. And also the entire complex actually has an iron sulfur core, as you can see right there mentioned, the iron sulfur core. And it's what is going to transfer the means the electron to a quinolone material. Okay, its reduction of that is actually taking place. Once this electron is actually now getting passed on to the Q, then it actually reach out to the complex 2. So once it is the complex 2 is nothing but succinate dehydrogenase, if you remember the name. Like this is actually the part of the Krebs cycle itself, isn't it? The one responsible for conversion of succinic acid into fumaric acid, as written here as succinate to fumarate. So once that happens, there is going to be a utilization, or means a reduction of FAD into FADH2 that will take place, which will again get back oxidized back into the FAD molecule. So this interconversion is going to take place there, resulting in transfer of two more electrons into the system. Okay, and once that happens, there is going to be a pool of hydrogen that will be released right there, and this hydrogen ion will then be like responsible for reduction of the Q. So finally we are here with the third complex. The third complex is responsible for like there are actually large number of cytochromes that are there present with it. There are cytochrome B6F and cytochrome C that are there adhered with it. So we are going to find here first and foremost a reduction of cytochrome C that is taking place right here. You can see it's written here as OX, which means oxidized. RED means reduced. So it is reduction of the cytochrome C is taking place right there, resulting in the entire complex which is like is now transporting the large number of like hydrogen ion or proton, you can say, from the matrix back into the intermembrane space. It is responsible for the transport of that entire all those hydrogen ion from one part to the other, means across the membrane, we can say. When that happens, so the intermembrane space, we can say that there is a large pool of hydrogen ion being created there. Now we will have the cytochrome means the third complex, cytochrome C oxidase as it is called. So this fourth complex, the fourth complex, the cytochrome C oxidase, is going to be responsible of transport of even more proton from the inside or the matrix region back out into the intermembrane space, like that. Okay, it's responsible for movement. And during that time, all those electrons that are being produced here, that are getting transported right there, these electrons will now come to this particular section, and the electron will now pass down into this through this entire system. But it is right here that we are going to find production of water is taking place at the, as you can see at the bottom is shown here, that there is production of water taking place. And for that production of water, we are going to find for the first time utilization of oxygen is now here. Keep in mind, the entire process was releasing a large amount of electron, and these electrons are not getting transported anywhere. It is not getting utilized anywhere. So finally, if that continue, that electron will actually build up a large amount of unused electron pool, and that will be not good for the cell definitely, because it will take hamper with many of the processes. So right there we are going to find that this electron is now will be accepted by the oxygen molecules that are going to come here, and the oxygen molecule will take up those electron along with two of the protons that are there and will form a water molecule of water. So once this water molecule is formed, we can say this water molecule definitely is going to be released out, and the electron that is being released there, electron is also getting like used up by this entire system. And if like since this process is able to like happen, or that is happening there, we can say this entire process is after all aerobic type of system. Because if this is not happening, the entire process, this all steps of electron transport system will not take place, because the large pool of electron will actually stop the entire etc pathway. So electron will get absorbed by the oxygen, resulting in formation of the water molecule that we see here, and finally we are going to get our entire system running smoothly and properly. I must say one more thing, I should add it right here if I feel like adding, and that is that this particular means complex, this complex 4 is actually the one that comes under the attack of the cyanide toxin. Means if you remember, there is actually, it is considered one of the most poisonous substance, the potassium cyanide. The potassium cyanide, and is also considered as like one of the like fast acting poison also. So it actually acts by attacking this particular complex and stopping its entire function, resulting in complete loss of respiration in all the cells that are coming in contact with the cyanide. So this is actually the way the cyanide actually acts, we can say. So once like this process is going on, this process is getting normal, I'm saying the normal process is going on, and the large pool of hydrogen ion is getting accumulated outside right there, then we are going to find the this molecule, the ATP synthase molecule is now going to come into action. The ATP synthase molecule is comprised of this proton motor, the blue section, the proton motor, with this stator and Spencer part which are present there, and we are going to find this head region, the one responsible for the main conversion of the ATP. So what is going to happen is this proton motor portion, means this center area, the moment a proton is actually being pushed inside, this is actually proton channel, one part of the proton channel, the moment is hydrogen ion or the proton channel is being, let me zoom this entire picture, that way you'll be able to view it like correctly. So the proton is actually moving inside, that time this entire section will actually make a rotation, this will rotate. Once this rotation will take place, that rotation will actually now trigger conversion, or actually phosphorylation of adenosine diphosphate into adenosine triphosphate, because during that time the beta complex, means alpha and beta subunit that makes up this entire F1 section, so this beta section is actually going to attach one ADP and one phosphate, inorganic phosphate with it. So the moment this entire proton motor is making one turn, that beta complex is going to actually join adenosine diphosphate and the phosphate to form adenosine triphosphate. So this is actually the portion, or actually this is the step by which ATP is being produced. And I have to tell you one more thing, that the entire process is also reversible when there is a way too much buildup of H plus ion in the cytosolic medium, means in the matrix region. Then during that time, from there this ATP will actually be used up. During that time, means ATP will be converted to ADP and PI, and one proton will actually being like here, as you can see, the proton is moving inside, that time the proton will be moved outside into the intermembrane space, and the entire rotation will also take place in the opposite direction during that time. Means whatever you are seeing here, the arrows that are there mentioned, the arrows are actually reversible type. This entire thing can be in a reversible mode of it runs in a reversible mode. So this is how the ATP is generated, and since the process actually involved, this entire process, it actually involved one oxygen to be there used up in this entire step, then we can say this process of phosphorylation of adenosine diphosphate can be considered as an oxidative phosphorylation. So that is how we are going to find a large amount of ATP are going to be produced by the process of electron transport chain.